Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Claudia. I'm a real estate agent and a mortgage broker here in Atlanta. I release video every week where I share my perspective on a range of topics from real estate to personal finance and business. In today's video, I will share with you 6 money mistakes to stay clear of in your 30s that you'll be happy you avoided later on in life. The first one is carrying too much credit card debt. As we know, when you get into your 30s, you probably spend your 20s in college and having fun, living life and doing all that good stuff. So for many kids in college, that's where the credit card company tends to get you. Because I recall when I was in college, I had no money, no job, but they give me a credit card with like $1,000 limit. Can you imagine, right? So for most of us, we've never had any financial education through school or through home. Especially for me coming from a Caribbean family, when it comes to money, that's something that we don't talk about. We don't talk about money, we don't talk about finances, we don't talk about anything. So think about it now. For most 19, 20-year-old, first time leaving home, going to college for the first time, and they're throwing all that stuff at you, it can be overwhelming. So you have this card now, you have no idea how to manage money, but you have a limit of $1,000, $2,000, but we think like that's free money, right? But at the same time, the credit card company, they have a plan. So the credit card company, in their mind, they feel like if they catch you early enough in college, they kind of build some kind of brand loyalty. Think about it, right? As you get further into life, you're going to remember your first credit card when you was in college. It's like, yeah, that was the first card I ever gotten. For whatever sentimental reason, you're going to hold on to that. But at the same time, the credit card company, they're getting money off of you because you are using that credit card, because most of us are not financially savvy to not manage credit card, especially in your 20s and 30s. So you're going to keep using it like it's an ATM. You just keep on swipe, swipe, swipe. So as you get further into life, when you get in your 30s now, you start thinking differently from when you were in your 20s. Because your 20s, guess what? It's all about having fun, right? You're in college, you're having a good time, you're traveling, you're doing all that good stuff. But as you get into your 30s now, you start thinking differently. You probably start moving up into your career, start establishing yourself, moving up the corporate ladder. Some people may even start thinking about finding a life partner, getting married, buying a house, doing all that good stuff. So that's when it's important, as far as like when you come to your credit card, that you be mindful to manage your credit card properly, not carrying too much debt, especially if you're thinking about down the line to buy a house. Because when it comes to that, the less debt you have, that'll increase your chances of getting a house. When the lender look at your financial aspect, they look at your debt to income ratio. So if you have a lot of debt and your income does not kind of match that, then that can create a problem. So one thing you need to do basically is to find a way to reduce your credit card balance. I'm not saying that having a credit card is bad. It's just you have to understand how to manage credit card, because you do need credit in order to build credit history. As crazy as they sound, right? So you have to use credit. So I'm not against using credit. I'm against using credit irresponsibly. So as long as you manage your debt and you have a plan, as like if you buy something, you're going to try to pay it at the end of the month, and not carrying too much credit card balance, and that is perfectly fine. Mistake number 2 is not setting financial goals. A lot of times when you're first starting in our career, especially as a 30-year-old, we're young, we're not thinking long term. We think we have all the time in the world. And that is a mistake, because as you start in your 30s, what you have working for you, it's time, right? Time is the biggest asset that you have. Think about it. If you're 30 and you're planning on retiring like 65, 70, so you have 30, close to 40 years ahead of you to build a nest egg that will help you into your retirement. So this is the time you start planning for your future. You sit down and have a budget, and you kind of tell your money where to go, right? Especially nowadays, you have a lot of people in their 30s making a lot of money, but they are living paycheck to paycheck. Not because they're not making money, but because they have no plan, they have no budget. They make the money, they spend it, they're living it up, this and the other. So I know I've been there. Like when you're in your 30s, you think you have all the time in the world, but times come by quickly. So what you want to do is to set some kind of financial goals for yourself, like for your 40s, when you get to your 50s, in your 60s. So you set some short term, some long term goal that you go along the way that you're trying to meet. Because if you have no kind of financial goal set, you're just gonna be pretty much winging it, and that's not a financial plan. The type of financial plan you want to have is like, okay, where do you want your life to be financially 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, and just kind of put things in place to get you there. Because if you don't have that, you're going to spend that money easily, because as the money comes, you're going to find 1,001 things to do with it. So the most important thing is to have a financial goal set, and if you plan on retire at a certain kind of age, you kind of work backwards to see what it will take for you to get there. Mistake number 3, not saving for retirement. I know, once again, in your 30s, retirement is the last thing on your mind. You think you have all the time in the world. But one thing I must say, right? We got to take advantage of, for most companies, they do offer matching retirement plan. So you cannot pass that up, even if you don't do anything else. To me, that is free money, right? So if they're matching, say for instance, up to 5 or 6%, whatever matching they're offering you, that's basically like 100% return on your money. If they say they're going to match up to 5%, if you put 5% in there, they give you like 5%, you can't pass that up. So you got to start thinking long term. Yes, you may be young, but at the same time, if you don't start planning now, you may regret it as you get older into life. Some people, like I said, some people in their 30s making a lot of money. We all think as we get older, our earning potential will continue to increase. Although that could be the case, sometimes it may not be, because a lot of things can happen along the way that may affect your earning potential. So as you start in your career, you start making money, start moving up the corporate ladder, start putting money away for your retirement. Don't think that you have all the time in the world, although it seems like you do. But at the same time, this is your greatest asset, because you have time on your side, you have the compound interest on your side. So as you put money in there, you're building a stash as you get older into life, that you have something as you can rely on. You don't want to get to a point where you're retired or getting close to retirement, then you have nothing saved up for that. Then you're going to face a dilemma that a lot of people unfortunately faced, where they reach a time to retire, they cannot afford to because they didn't plan for it. So you don't want to be in a position where you are at an age to retire, but because you didn't plan for it, you cannot afford to, then you have to keep working into late in your years. So guys, keep that in mind. Like I said, in your 30s, yes, you are young, but you have time on your side. Start planning now. In 30 years from now, when you decide to retire, you'll be in a good financial position to do so. Number 4, living beyond your means. This, especially with social media nowadays, that everyone living their best life, not the best life, the best life. It's a lot of pressure. I understand that. Even for me, when you go online, you see people living some kind of lifestyle. You're saying to yourself, especially somebody that you went to school with, you grew up with, and you start thinking to yourself, what is wrong with me? Why this person seems to be so successful, and here I am, I'm struggling, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. You start doubting yourself. So do not fall into this trap of following people on social media and thinking the life that they're portraying online is their truth. Because a lot of people just kind of faking it out there. They're putting all kind of stuff that they cannot afford just to flex. So you just gotta stay in your lane. You gotta act your wage, so you know what you can afford, what you cannot afford. So don't worry about what other people are doing and posting. Just stay in your lane. Once you have a game plan, you just execute your game plan. Don't try to live beyond your means to impress people that really don't care about you. Because at the end of the day, when something happens in your life, nobody gonna come to rescue you. So you want to be responsible with your money. You want to make sound decision, and you don't want to try to compare yourself to anybody else, especially your parents. And I've seen that a lot. A lot of people see their parents have this beautiful house, have this wonderful life, and they feel like they're a loser because they are not up to that standard. But be mindful, your parents are a generation older than you are. They have 20 years plus ahead of you. So you cannot compare yourself to your parents or anyone that is older than you, because they have time ahead of you. When they was building, you were not even born yet. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Just run your own race at your own pace, and Don't worry about what somebody else is doing. Don't pay attention to it. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses, because if you do, you're gonna get yourself into trouble. Just focus on your goal. That's what it is important that you set your own goal, that you run at your own pace, and that you stay focused on whatever goals that you set for yourself. Don't worry about anybody else. As you know, social media, that's the bad aspect of it. Everybody's out there living their best life, quote unquote. But at the same time, a lot of people feel pressure seeing their friends, seeing their family members, seeing that people that I go to school with, that this grand lifestyle online. But in reality, a lot of time it is far from the truth. So stay in your lane, focus on your goal, and take baby steps, and you'll get there. Mistakes number 5. Prioritize your kids' education over your retirement. Especially as new parents, we all want our kids to have the best, which is perfectly fine. That's what parents do. But at the same time, we cannot forego our retirement plan to focus on their education. Because as we get older, we don't want to be a burden of our kids to take care of us. So yes, we want to help our kids out, but I think our priority at this point is to focus on us, as far as like putting stuff away for our retirement, because we don't want to end up in a situation where we become a burden on our kids because we didn't plan for ourselves. Because guess what? The kids, they have the ability, as they get older into college years, they can get scholarship, they can get financial aid. We want to help our kids out, but at the same time, we don't want to do it at the expense of us saving for retirement. So at this age, once again, because we have time on our side, we want to focus on ourselves and put a plan in place for retirement. You cannot expect to rely on your kids as we get older into age, because that's not fair for them, because they're going to have their own life. So you want to prepare for yourself. As you get older in age, close to retirement, you can be financially dependent, and you don't have to rely on your kids to do everything for you. So yes, we want to help our kids, but at the same time, we don't want to do it at the expense of us saving for retirement. Number 6, having a single source of income. I know for me growing up, the idea back then was you go to school, you get an education, you get a career, and you pretty much stay in a career until retired. So that was like, we treated working as dating or marriage. Basically, we stay loyal to that one particular employer. But unfortunately, the employer, they're not loyal to you. As you know, when it comes time to cut you, they will definitely let you go sometimes without like a 14-day notice. So it is okay to have something on the side, especially when it comes to a job, to have something on the side while you work your regular job. So you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, because what happens a lot of time, if you get laid off, you have nothing else to fall on. That's like you want to diversify as much as you possibly can. As you can see, if 2020 didn't teach us anything, with this pandemic, a lot of people lost their job and they had nothing else to fall back on. And to me, that is the biggest risk. A lot of people think, starting a side also, doing different things is risky. I don't see it as being risky at all. I think having just one income is very risky, because if you lose that job, that's all your income. You lose 100% of your income. So if you have, say for instance, you have your job, you have like 3 other side hustle going on. So if you lose your job, you still have this other 3 to kind of keep you afloat while you figure things out. So you don't want to put yourself in a position where you dedicate all your time to that one job, to that one employer that's pretty much don't really care about you. Because when it comes down to it, when they make decision, it comes down to the bottom line. If they feel that you are expendable, guess what? They will not hesitate. They will not think twice about you being faithful to them for 20, 30 plus years. They will cut you and let you go just like that, without thinking twice about it. We have to start being strategic in our thinking, and start thinking of different ways. Even at night, you can start something on the side and slowly build it. In the event something were to happen with your main job, you have something you can fall back on. So you don't want to be in a position where you put all your eggs in one basket. If that basket fall, everything just breaks. So you kind of want to have different things going at the same time, different plates turning. You could have, if you have some kind of talent, you can start a little side business. Whatever it is that you can think of, just start it small and work your way and kind of build something on the side. In case something were to happen with your main job, at least you have something else going on. So the bottom line is this: in your 30s, that's when you need to start making smart money decisions. you have time. Once again, that is your greatest asset, time. That's something you cannot buy. So because you have time on your side, 30 plus years to kind of build something, by the time you retired, this is the time you need to take advantage of it and start planning accordingly. So you don't want to start, the longer you wait, the less impact you'll have in your retirement. So you want to start right now while you're still young and start building something. And for the first step is to have like a financial plan to know exactly, okay, this is the age you want to retire, this is how much money you need, and start building yourself and start working towards that kind of plan. So once again, guys, if you find value in this content, all I ask is that you like, subscribe, and share. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll definitely see you on the next video.